Hey guys, this is Jason. Jay's Tips. Wanted to tell you about a new project I picked up recently. Although I picked it up about 6 months ago, and I've been puttering with it ever since. But I have a '68 Mustang 302. This is the picture of it before the guy took it apart that I bought it from. He took most everything off of the front end and the lights and everything, and I ended up picking it up with a with a box truck and a U-Haul box truck and for all the parts and a car trailer for all the for the car itself. But runs and drives good. It's got a 302. It's got a built 302. I'm told it's a B cam. It's got GT40 heads. It's got a air gap intake from Edelbrock. Right now, it has a Street Demon carburetor on it. And the first thing I had to do was I've been sorting out all the bugs. I had to put a whole new fuel pump, fuel regulator in there, and got to the carburetor, and it runs okay, but it's running really, really rich. And before I started diving into a new carb to learn, I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go fuel injection. I want to be able to just start it and go, and turn the key, go whenever I want to. So I started buying parts. So I wanted to tell you guys how I was going to do it. So this is the plan for the fuel injection, and I already have all of this stuff. But I need, obviously, when you have a fuel injection kit, you need an in-tank pump, right? Or you can do an inline pump. Right now, I've got a Holley Blue on it, and it's really annoying, even though it's not super loud, but it is something that's really annoying. So I want something in the tank so that it can get really, really quiet. It'll have a layer of fuel around it, and it'll have a tank around it, so it's not exposed, and it'll be really quiet. So this is what I picked out. Here's the plan. We have a CPP in-tank kit that is from eBay. So they do sell these from CJ Pony Parts, where you can buy the kit. You can get everything included with it. So you get the pump, you get the retrofit for your tank. You cut like a 4.5 inch hole and drill a bunch of holes here to install it. And then the cool thing about these is they have the basket, which will help prevent fuel starvation when the gas gets low. And then your return line also goes straight here into the basket as well, so that keeps the tank, or this at least this area of the tank full. Um, what I was looking at is it depends on which pump you get, but this kit from CJ Pony Parts, it's like a great product. It's not the one I bought, but it's $264. So I was poking around trying to figure out, what's a better way to do this. I heard on a couple of sites like, JR from Driveway Engineer always talked about the Chemso fuel pump from eBay, because I was looking at this and I was like, somebody's got to sell just a kit so I can buy my own pump, because the Chemso pump from eBay, let's go over here. It's only 40 bucks, and tons of people are using these. It's 340 liters per hour. If you're wondering what that can support as far as horsepower, you can go to Summit. You can just Google, flow chart for horsepower, and it's usually done in liters per hour. These guys broke it out to gallons per hour as well. But if you look at the chart, hey, that 340, 350 liters per hour can support, with a fuel injected engine, which is what I'm going to have, probably about 850 horsepower. So for 40 bucks, 850 horsepower capable. Um, I don't think my car is going to get anywhere near 850 horsepower. Without a power adder, at some point I'm planning on putting a turbo on there. I don't even think the thing's going to hit 600, and the Holley can't even support it anyway. So the Sniper 2 goes up to 550, I think, with a power adder and the fuel injection unit. So, if I'm lucky, what I have in this thing will probably put, even with a turbo, probably 400, 450 horsepower, something like that. So this is what I was after. What I found is that they sell this thing on eBay with just the kit, and it's actually a little bit better than this other one, at least in my opinion, on CJ Pony Parts, because This one, you're going to have to hammer and dolly the tank. On my Mustang, it's a 68. I believe the tanks are the same from like 64 all the way to 68. They have ribs on the top of the tank. So you would have to drill your hole and you would have to flatten those out. While this one has a much thicker gasket and it's got an extra part in there. So it's a little bit different in the way it's made. But the reality is it's going to go in the tank and I'm going to be able to put my Chemso fuel pump on that. So I've ordered the Chemso fuel pump. I've ordered this part from eBay, and there it is. If you want to Google that, it's a 6-inch in-tank fuel pump injection conversion kit. It has these 1/4-inch NPT threads, so it's got a send, it's got return, and it's got a tank vent on it. And this is the plan for that. So drill a hole, this goes into the tank, Chemso fuel pump gets mounted on here. This, you have to cut this section to fit the depth of your tank so it can fit many different cars. I haven't done any of this yet, but this is all the parts that I've acquired so far, and this is the plan. I got a kit for the fuel line. So you can get a fuel line kit from Holley. They have a master kit. They have, even from Holley, they have their in tank with a 340 liter per hour um, Sniper die-cast retrofit module. Same thing, you're going to have to drill a hole, you're going to have to cut it to size and everything. And this one doesn't even look like it has the baskets around to keep the fuel from starving. And this one's $413 with the fuel pump. So what I did was, again, 110 bucks for the retrofit kit for the tank, and then a Chemso $40 pump, so I'm 150 bucks into the tank. And again, it's going to provide 340 liters per hour, and it should support well more than the horsepower that I'm going to need. If I ever do anything crazy like LS swap it or go crazy with the motor, at that point, at least from the fuel system perspective, all I'll have to do is put a beefier pump in there and just swap it out. I've heard some people put multiples in there. I don't know how to do that, but again, you can just go get a pump that flows more. Then I got the Evil Energy AN38 PTFE LS swap kit fuel lines, and I've got the 25-foot hose. It's only about, I think, 12 feet from my tank to the front of the car, so it should be plenty to go all the way out in the back. So the plan is put the tank kit in there with the Chemso pump. The fuel line kit comes with all of these fittings. The one thing I discovered, I initially had the wrong fuel filter. Not wrong, but I was figuring, I had one with a Wix that just had the standard 3/8 hose bulbs on the end of it. And then what I did was I changed it out for the quick disconnect Chemso pump, or I'm sorry, not Chemso pump, the Wix filter, because the Evil Energy lines and the fittings that come with that will fit on top of this filter. So these little guys here come out. You just put this end over the pump there and screw them in, tighten them down, and you're done. So we're going 1/4 inch to the AN 1/4 inch adapter. I'm going to make a line that goes from here all the way up to the filter. And we're going to use the fittings that come. All of these fittings that are listed here come in this fitting kit. And this kit was like 96 bucks. So all these fittings and the installation stuff comes with it. I've watched a couple videos. It looks like it's not that big of a deal to do this. Just got to be careful when you do the assembly. So we're going send out from the pump through this fitting, through this line, through the fuel filter. This one, I believe Holley says 10 microns. I think this one, if you look at the specs, is 15 microns. So it's really, really close. And then you go another line, another fitting out to the actual unit itself, the Sniper 2. And then the Sniper 2 has a flow tube between the two AN fittings that come with the Sniper unit. and then you just go return, and then I got a Evil Energy fuel pressure regulator off of Amazon. It's for 75 bucks. Got good reviews. Looks like sometimes you get one that may or may not work, but I'm gambling here, trying to save a bunch of money. We'll see how it goes, and I'll report to you guys to see what works and if anything doesn't. So that's the plan. We're going again from the pickup out through the filter into the main unit for the sniper, back through the regulator. There is also a gauge that mounts here on this that came with the regulator, and then back out to the return, and then vent. There's a vent hose here going vent out to the from the tank out of the car. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. And then for the cost, so here's where I'm at with the cost. For the Sniper 2 that I bought, I actually bought the Sniper 2, and now they are selling it with the 5-inch display, so you can actually use it as a more of a digital dash as well as a module to control it. Haven't gotten into that yet, but I do have all the parts. So this is where we're at now. You can get this kit with a smaller display unit, I think, for $12.99. I paid the extra for the bigger display. So we got an intake kit for 110, fuel lines were 107, fuel regulator was 76, the filter was 15 bucks, and the fuel pump was 40 bucks. So if we do that, we get a grand total of 1850. So the alternative to do that with Holley would be 400 bucks plus the 1300 bucks. So there's 1700 bucks right there before you get into anything with the lines or the regulator or anything else like that. So it can get pretty expensive with the Holley stuff. So we'll see. Like you need a regulator kit. Their fuel regulator, 125 bucks for the regulator. So that's $538 for that, plus another $12.99. So you basically like call it 600 bucks plus 1300 bucks. You're at 1900 bucks for everything there, with the base module for the display. So again, I'm at 1850 with the better module. So I'm save a few $100 here, hopefully, and we'll see if it all goes right.